Whenever there are groups of people involved, somebody isn't going to like somebody else. This is especially true when somebody has power over the others. But when it comes to racing, do officials spend more time focused on some drivers over others because they don't like them? Let's get into it. Now, if you have been an official in any sport, you have been accused of picking on somebody. And usually it is because, according to the person complaining, that you just don't like them. But is this true? I mean, does this actually happen? I mean, in all honesty, maybe. It could happen sometimes with some people. But as an active official who's been involved for a very long time and has been accused of picking on people, I can say with absolute certainty that not only is that untrue, but I have been accused of picking on people that I very clearly liked. Remember, officials are human. There are some people that we're going to like more than others, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be unfair to those people. And I think the vast majority of officials are exactly like that. Now, in my experience, every single time that I have been accused of picking on someone, I have never been accused of making up a call. I was accused of catching them too much. I want you to think about that. They're not complaining that I am making it up. They're complaining that I caught them too much. So what's actually going on here? I mean, other than the obvious, some people feel like they should be allowed to get away with things, at least, they try 5 things, they should be able to get away with one. This is don't get me wrong, this is a genuine thing that some people believe. But a way to think about this is in the terms of limited resources. That is to say, officials and their attention are a limited resource. You only have so many officials at the racetrack with so many eyeballs who can look at so many places. And like with any limited resource, you have to plan how to use it effectively. This is from the Interclub Challenge 2024 at Goodwood Kartways. Where should we be looking? Here? Should we be watching here or here? What about here? How about there? Maybe these guys? Are you starting to see my point? Even if you have a race director, a steward, an assistant race director, you have extra eyes on the track, and even if every single marshal was trained and able to make calls, there is no way that every single bit of action can be seen all the time from anybody's position. So how do you make your plan? The answer is triage. Now, triage is generally a term that's used for sorting casualties in a medical situation. The people who need help right now are prioritized over people who can wait a little longer, who are prioritized over people who can wait longer than that. It is an incredibly effective way of using your limited resources. But what does that mean for racing? Now, I think everybody would agree that barring any crashes or spins or anything like that on the racetrack, that the front of the pack gets priority. So the senior official should be focusing there. And then you have, say, the assistant race director watching the second group. And then maybe you're having, if you've got another steward or somebody like that, when they have the ability to, they're watching elsewhere. But from there, drivers who are problematic or have had recent complaints are going to get more of a priority over drivers in groups that haven't. Now, it doesn't mean that groups of karts where drivers don't normally earn themselves penalties can be completely ignored. That isn't the case, but it does mean that they're going to get less of a priority, less attention than a group where a driver who is known to be problematic or has gotten recent complaints is in. Now, you may think that's unfair, but how else do you effectively use that limited resource that you have? Do you give the people who can wait for medical attention the same priority of the people who absolutely can't? That doesn't make any sense. So when you're talking about on the racetrack, why would you split your resources to a group of people who are not known to be an issue over somebody who is? Remember that it is impossible to watch all of the karts all of the time unless you have a literal army of people. And rarely is a driver's reputation earned for no reason. Remember that we're talking about just giving these drivers more attention than others. We're not talking about making up calls on them. Like I said, the people that are complaining that they're being picked on aren't arguing that the call was wrong. They're arguing that they're getting caught, and they don't like they're getting caught so often. They don't seem to get the message that they are going to keep getting calls if they keep earning them. Remember that the rules are how to play the game. What it doesn't say is where you can play. If you don't want to follow the rules, go somewhere else. Make up your own series, run it, do whatever you want. But as long as you're racing under somebody else's rulebook, you've got to follow it. And if you don't, and you get caught, you earn that penalty. You've got nobody to blame but yourself. And if you're a person who likes to break rules, the officials have no choice but to pay more attention to you than anybody else. They have limited resources, and they're going to focus some of it on you. Well, what do you think? You think that's unfair? That that's not the way to be doing things? Do you think there's a better way to prioritize the way that we're watching the racetrack? Do you think that people with a bad reputation should be ignored? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. Make your comments. So like, subscribe, do all those good things. And of course, I will see you at the racetrack.